Hey there, Conway here. No squeaker, no armadillo. It's raining outside, so we get nothing but me. All right, couple chapters to review here. Chapter 3, there's a turtle. I'm not talking about the turtle. Uh, Keeps to himself, he does his own thing. Lots of YouTube commentary about it. You don't need me to give you more. Turtle takes a hit, it keeps on going. Learn from the turtle. All right, if the video keeps getting brighter and darker, like it's doing to me right here as I stare at myself, I apologize. Who knows what'll come. However, chapter 4, we're introduced to a new guy. Okay, the preacher. His first introduction, he's singing about Jesus. He is singing about Jesus. Jesus is my Savior. Why would the first thing he says be about Jesus? Tom is walking. It's dry, it's dusty. There's dust kicking up everywhere. Again, repetition of the dust, so we understand. It's a hot day, but repetition of the dust, so we understand. But the first thing being discussed by the preacher, his first words, yes, sir, he's my Savior. Tom comes up and is like, hey, I was just talking to you, or talking about you to a truck driver a little while ago. Wow, how about this? How serendipitous that we bump into each other, though that would not be a word Tom would use. One of the first things he introduces himself is he's just Jim Casey now. He's no longer a preacher. He is no longer pastor, preacher, minister, just a guy now. Did you notice anything? Jim Casey, JC. There might be another person with those initials that you might think of. And Johnny Cade from The Outsiders? Absolutely. John Coffey from The Green Mile? Yeah, but there's another one. JC. Now this guy claims he's no longer a man of God. Now, this is kind of a thing that they use in a lot of old stories, where a person says he's not something anymore, but he's forced into becoming that something. The old gunslinger that lays down his weapons, but is forced to pick them up again. All right, let's see what comes. He says he has some sinful ideas, but they seem kind of sensible. This isn't about the girl thing, but let's address the girl thing. He is not a creeper. He is not seducing little babies or little girls. These are adult baptisms. This is an important idea because I'm sure some of people read this and went, this is horrific. No, 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 no. It is a-okay. In terms of legal age, it's okay. Tom says, I don't know, I've got a problem with it. Man, that's what I really missed in jail was the women. And while the preacher is agonizing, saying, I'm a hypocrite, Tom gets does he get a stick or his foot? I don't know. But he draws a naked woman in the dirt. This isn't a beef to Tom. The preacher has a concern with it. Tom does not. He goes on, as in the preacher, to say, the people have lost their way. I lost the spirit, but so did the people. Think of the era they're in. When you take hope away from people, many people really latch on to religion, but a lot of people give up. And oddly enough, the next 10 years or so are going to be really difficult years with the Depression leading into World War II. It's going to be a tough time. And a lot of people are going to wonder about religion. So there is a bit of a commentary on religion here. Let me peek down at my notes. We're almost done here. Tom Joad makes a commentary about the prison. It says some people leave, but then they come right back. The official term is recidivism. But in a lot of cases, prison doesn't teach you how to become a better person. There's a debate about prison. Should it? Or should it just punish you for your crime? And Casey makes a beautiful metaphor, and he says, sometimes we miss the sound of the sawmill. For people who live in a big city, it is difficult to go to the country where you just hear the occasional coyote wail, and it's too quiet. But it's a metaphor. You miss the 3 squares a day you get in prison. You get out of prison, and then, now what? What have you got? There's no work. It gets to where you miss the sound of the sawmill. It is also established why Tom was in jail. He killed the guy with a shovel, smacked him in the head with a shovel. Now I'm going to say his lawyer must not have been that great, since when he hit this guy with the shovel, he had a knife in him. Tom was stabbed. Seems like a reasonable reason to hit a guy with a shovel. Maybe there's more details to the story I'm missing. But wow, that seems like a bad lawyer. With a knife in you and you go to jail for homicide. But Tom's not ashamed of it. And he also doesn't hate the guy he killed. The guy's name is Herb. He doesn't hate Herb. It just happened. They were drinking and it happened. As they get talking, they also introduce a character that we're barely going to mention at all. We do not see him in here, but it's Uncle John. And the reason I mention it, Uncle John is psychologically flawed as a human being, which makes him an interesting character. He's got some issues that are addressed in later chapters. But the chapter ends, they get back home, and there is no home. They're gone. Wow. Important details in review. Number one, Tom is just doing his thing. He's minding his own business. This will come up again. But Tom is trying to do his own thing. You got Jim Casey. This is his chapter. We're introduced to Jim Casey, and even though he claims he's not a man of God, his first words are words of prayer, singing to Jesus being his Savior. He can say he's not a man of God, and yes, he might have some problems with organized religion. Yes, he might have some problems with the spirit of the land. Yes, he might have some problems with his fascination with hooking up with some of his female parishioners. But he's JC, and that stands for something on a literary level. Some guy named, Joe Conway? No, I don't know if I have any J's. My sister, and she's not Jesus. Good sister though, but she's not Jesus. Pretty nifty soul though. Thumbs up, Jamie. All right, chapter 3 and 4. Take care.